It has been a month now that Caitlin has been out, and we still don't know when she will be returning to the court, if she will be returning to the court this season.
The WNBA has a problem, and that problem is Caitlin Clark not playing in WNBA games. Now, what all does this affect? The ratings are plummeting. Guys, there's ratings for a couple of these games that are eye-poppingly bad.
The WNBA has just been brutally reminded of reality, and Caitlin Clark's departure is inevitable. Ratings are attempting a last-second play while nosediving more quickly than a squad led by Stephanie White. The league's historic growth motto feels like something a frantic marketing intern scrawled on a coffee-stained napkin after one groin injury. Additionally, WNBA owners are now becoming agitated. No, don't bother. Infuriated. They are asking themselves, is our billion-dollar dream really this fragile when they gaze at those TV numbers? Can this league continue to exist without its one real draw for viewers? That is the key question. Act with integrity. Is anyone planning to see the alleged other stars during the weekend when Clark is away? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.
What are you going to do about it, Kathy? If and when Caitlin Clark returns, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to allow her to come back and get mauled? Are you going to allow her to come back and continue to get fouled? Because if we see what's going on here with the ratings, the owners have to see. And the owners are thinking to themselves, the bubble might be bursting. This bubble might be bursting, and Caitlin Clark being out for over a month is the catalyst to the burst.
The icy truth is as follows. This season, there was only one reliable ranking system used by the league. Against Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. It was that. That was the whole marketing strategy. The Chicago Sky will play the Indiana Fever. Flashy advertising campaigns or $1 million brainstorming session were not necessary. All it takes to create an instant money machine is to place the two most talked about names on the same court 5 times.
There was one matchup that this league can consistently rely on to produce massive viewership numbers. One matchup. The Chicago Sky versus the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the league's two most noticeable names on the court at the same time. In fact, they relied so heavily on this matchup, they put these two teams against each other 5 times this season.
Here's the issue, though. Your stars will leave if you don't safeguard them. Due to a groin injury that requires genuine recovery rather than the WNBA's slap some tape on it and hope strategy, Clark has been out for more than a month. For the past week and a half, Reese has been absent. Therefore, the ratings plummeted when the league's golden matchup came around this past Saturday, and neither of its golden ticket stars was playing. These two teams are experiencing their lowest numbers since Clark entered the league. I'm not speaking in a demeaning manner either. I'm referring to the bottom. Not even close to the poor figures from the previous year. Badly out of sight.
I feel bad for Caitlin Clark. She come out and said on Sue Bird's podcast that she's feeling the pressure of not playing in these games. And that Fever Sky viewership fell off the map. All right? A massive fall off from earlier in the year. No Caitlin Clark, no Angel Reese. Now, Angel Reese is back injury? Question mark? Nobody's exactly sure what the hell's going on there at all.
The data presents a dismal picture and is unreliable. Both Clark and Reese's first meeting of the year was very large. ABC had an average viewership of 2.7 million, with a peak of 3.1 million. The ABC average from the previous year is 115% lower than that. Furthermore, it was more than just star power. Everything was there. Chicago's destruction, her triple-double, Clark's foul drama, and the notorious league probe that had everyone talking.
Essentially, Angel Reese gets the ball, Caitlin Clark goes over, does a hard foul, commits a hard foul on Angel Reese. She falls to the ground. After that, Angel Reese gets up. She's feeling super spicy. She's charging at Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is walking away. Aaliyah Boston steps in and kind of stops Angel Reese. Courtney Vandersloot also steps in.
Despite Clark's absence, the second meeting went well. CBS primetime attracting 1.92 million viewers at 8 p.m. The 8th largest WNBA regular season game in almost 2 decades, and one of the most watched since 2001. However, the drop started at the third meeting, going from 2.7 million to 1.9 million before collapsing to 1.5 million. "Nah, I'm good and never coming back for round 3, said 1.2 million people. Yes, I did point it out at the time. The 1.5 million viewers were the fewest since the 1.53 million who watched Fever Sky the previous year. Then the catastrophe on Saturday. Same matchup, same network, same primetime slot. However, without Clark, they tried 1.3 million, failed to break 1.4 million, indicating that more than 500,000 viewers simply stopped watching. 1.4 million people watched this big battle between May 22nd and August 10th. That's not a disaster in TV terms. That is disastrous. When drops half that size occur, networks freak out. Advertisers become alarmed. Even though Kathy Angelbert will never publicly acknowledge it, you can bet your bottom dollar that she is in a panic.
Several more weeks pretty much puts Caitlin Clark to coming back at the very end of the regular season. If you look at the Indiana Fever's schedule right now, they only have 12 games left, and there's exactly 4 weeks left in the regular season. And the craziest thing about this last groin injury with Caitlin Clark is how it's been covered. The day after she had the groin injury, she was listed as day-to-day, and then a couple weeks after that, then she was listed to being out indefinitely.
Because this is the unvarnished reality. National interest in the WNBA and the Fever plummets amid Clark's absence. Fans aren't paying attention to Stephanie White's playbook illustrations. They won't be present for sloppy, plodding basketball. Furthermore, they have no desire to observe the WNBA officiating three-ring circus.
Is there any chance that the WNBA, that Kathy Engelbert saw some of the ratings that I'm about to show you now and said, "Hey, Indiana Fever, can you do us a favor? Can you do us a solid? Can you just tease a Caitlin Clark return, kind of boost these up a little bit? Can you just dangle a Caitlin Clark return in front of the fans' faces, try to boost these ratings up a little bit?"
So, how is the league playing? In a desperate state. Whispers begin to reach your ears. Hey Fever, just to boost the ratings, perhaps hint at a Caitlin Clark comeback. Leave open the option without providing. It comes directly out of the PR survival guidebook. Even if it's smoke and mirrors, keep the audience interested and engaged. The catch, though, is this. If you don't mind a long-term problem or injury, don't rush Clark's injury. Furthermore, we might not even be here if the league had done its part to shield her from the persistent targeting, derogatory remarks, and obvious no calls. However, the referees treat her like a walk-on at an open gym instead. Guys,
I got to tell you, in 2 of these other games I'm going to show you, it is bad back in WNBA territory of where they were like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I saw these ratings and was like, you got to be joking. It's not a joke. Pay us what you owe us.
don't assume that this just ruins Fever games either. Let us have a look at the league. Sun vs. Sky attracted 180,000 viewers. Dream against Mercury, 160,000. Should the WNBA's expansion be as rapid as the league management asserts, those games would easily gross 400K, if not 500K. They can't even sniff 200K without the Caitlin Clark stimulus package, though. Well, that's Clark. An all-around economic benefit for the league. With painful numbers, she plays. She sits, cratering numbers. The league also can't say that they didn't anticipate this. The warning signs were present from the beginning. Getting fewer whistles than a spam caller on airplane mode and taking harder shots than an NFL wide receiver are your two most significant ratings assets. Not a single landing, call violations a space. Arm grips are not required during driving. No demands for obvious rim hacking. Do you believe Clark would still be marginalized if she received the same kind of attention as Paige Buchers in college? Yes, I do. We wouldn't be discussing a ratings free fall in August, and the Fever would most likely be ranked among the top 3 seeds.